January 8th, 2023. Today marks the start of the 100th Police Academy in Amarillo, Texas. The men and women here, culled from a larger pool of applicants, are the best of the best.
I was very excited to meet my new team, because knowing that all of you went through the same process I did, the 18 of us are there together. We were the ones who made it through. So it was very exciting. It's a feel-good moment.
They had us standing up in front of the police department that first day. It was cold, we were nervous, we didn't really know each other, and so we didn't really have an idea of what we were walking into, but it was just a blessing to be there.
It's cold, for sure, and I'm going out there and I just see a bunch of people like me, just scared as all get out.
Over the next 6 months, they'll face a grueling series of trials, transforming them into a tight-knit group, crucial for overcoming the challenges that lie ahead. But at this moment, they stand in the bitter 20-degree cold, awaiting the Academy cadre to kickstart their orientation.
I don't know if you've ever seen a Rolodex roll, but just everything was like that, and that's how my mind felt. I was just going through scenarios like, what if I'm not good at this? Stuff like that. Just a lot of stuff was going through my head.
I'd like to be among the first to welcome you to the historic 100th Amarillo Police Academy. Y'all are the top 9.5% of everybody who applied for the police department. Okay. We had 136 applications, only 13 made it through. Consider yourselves very lucky. Okay?
For most recruits, they are hearing this speech for the first time. But for Demas and Davila, the situation is different.
And for some of y'all, that may be the only thing that gets you through that, is working as a team.
They've stood here before. They carry the knowledge and expectations of their past experience with the 99th Academy into the 100th.
So I've already gone through a big portion of an academy, 25 weeks out of 32. So I expected myself, starting at day one, way more than what was expected of them.
Yeah, I'm thinking I gotta get structured. I gotta get my stuff together because it's starting again, and they expect a lot, and you gotta get your mind right, your physical fitness right. So it's time to go to work, and your life's kind of put on hold for a while.
Okay, we've had laterals. Other officers come and join our police department, and they say they have received better training in 2 months than they did in 6 years at their other department. We do not give up. If you have questions, ask us.
A critical lesson the command staff emphasizes during the initial days is resilience, an urging for the recruits not to quit.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up, okay? Nobody here in this building wants to see you give up.
In the face of nationwide police shortages, these recruits carry the weight of being a significant investment for the Amarillo Police Department. The pressure is palpable for both the APD and these aspiring officers. Despite the high stakes, the Academy doesn't ease up on its rigor. It remains one of the most formidable challenges these recruits will face in their lives.
Everyone tells you it's gonna be hard, and it really isn't easy, right? It can't be easy, so it lives up to what people say, for sure.
Ibarra.
My last year in college at WT, we had to do an internship, and I decided to do it here with APD, and I did ride-alongs for about 4 months, so I fell in love with the job. I liked that every day was different, so I knew at the beginning of last year that this is what I wanted to do, so I started just working out and getting ready for it, and I applied. I was on the first exam, so I was on the first application for the 100th.
Burley.
Growing up, I lived with my mom to start out. I came back here to Amarillo in high school. Had 5 brothers and 2 sisters. So my mom had to work a lot. So my grandma, she babysat me a lot. And so we would watch a lot of her cop shows like In the Heat of the Night and Walker, Texas Ranger. And I just knew from then on, once I saw those shows, that I wanted to be a police officer.
I think it would always kind of been in the back of my mind. That's something I wanted to do. I've always wanted to help people, And at that moment, you know, in college, I decided I didn't want to help people like that. I didn't want to help people be a dentist, you know. But then I kind of knew that I was like, well, you know, some of my biggest role models have been in law enforcement. And I just decided that, you know, maybe that made the connection after that job fair that, hey, this is where I need to be.
Robledo. Demas.
So I've always had a servant's heart. I've known that I wanted to serve in some sort of way, which is why I've done customer service for so long, since I was 15. I just didn't know where or how to put that to work, put it to good use. So whenever I had ran into somebody and they said, hey, you should apply, I just instantly felt this feeling of, wow, I never thought about that. And then when you go through the process, and like I said, when you go through those steps and you complete one, and you get one step closer, and then each instructor will come in and tell you their story, and they'll ask you too, why do you want to do this? And it just makes you fall in love with it more and more.
Ligon. Gonzalez. Davila.
I grew up in Freona, Texas, which is a small town. Moved here my junior year, high school. It's just ever since I was young, I've always felt like that's what I'm supposed to do. And it's kind of cliche, but it really did feel like that. My family was in Austin Police, and I remember just being like, oh my gosh, like this is the coolest thing ever. They look so cool, and I just always wanted to, always my whole life, so.
This is your order. 2 seconds.
Some of us were customer service, estheticians, cooks. We don't know this type of paramilitary lifestyle.
Mr. Robledo.
Mr. Davila, welcome to the 100th. Go see Sergeant Ogden and I'll sit down.
Yes, sir.
Sergeant Ogden, an essential figure at the academy, whose experience and resolve lay the foundation for the recruit's journey. A proud member of the 77th Amarillo Police Academy, Ogden has walked the path he now guides others along. Serving as an academy instructor for many years, his insight and dedication have shaped countless officers.
I went to the academy in 2008 under Sergeant Tresha McKegg, and it was a great experience. I had been in the military, so not much surprised me or shocked me, and I thought it was a really good experience. So it's the 100th time the Amarillo Police Department has put people in a room to train them to be police officers. It is a big number to meet that number of how many times we've actually gone through this journey together. It's a big event.
Good morning. 32 years ago, I sat in a seat similar to this at a different location and started my career and started a journey that frankly has passed by, it feels like, in just a couple of years. The reason it's passed by so fast for me is because I've enjoyed just about every minute of it. Our standard of performance, some of you I've already talked to in person, and you know what that is, right? It's excellence. Excellence is not perfection. We make mistakes, and that's okay. That's how we learn. Excellence is not doing the bare minimum. It's not mediocre. It's bringing your best every day and doing a good job. Welcome to the Amarillo Police Department. Thank you for taking on this very noble career. I look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you, sir.
As the recruits are inundated with orientation, their first major challenge looms just days away. PT testing.
Finished with your 1.5 run. Do not stop moving because you have a 300-meter sprint after that. Okay?
PT testing at the academy isn't just a physical challenge. It's a critical evaluation of where each recruit stands. With timed 1.5 runs and 300-meter sprints, this assessment establishes a baseline for physical fitness. These initial times will be revisited, marking the growth and progress each recruit makes on their journey to becoming a police officer.
I think it was the run test. It was 1.5 mile run. It is cold. Like, I can't feel my fingers. I mean, it's just miserable. I did pretty good, you know. I did my best. That's all you can do. And I thought I was in the front, at the very front, and I ended up getting to the finish line. I was like, man, did I get first? I was like, that's a good feeling. And I look, and Enriquez is over there sitting on the floor. He had ran his hardest, and he nearly gassed out.
It was cold that morning. We tried our best at running and everything, but the weather still plays a big part in it. But this is a job where you're gonna work in any type of weather, so you kind of have to get used to it.
Get with Officer Dog and tell him your name and your time. Finish it up. Last sprint, last sprint. Catch up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Remember your time? What is it?
52.
Hey, you got this. Let's go.
So running for me was very difficult. I've never ran as far as we ran, and so it was very difficult for me. I got my body in stronger, and coming here I learned that you needed both. You need to have that endurance and you needed to be strong. So
The 99th Academy's presence during PT Week adds a seasoned perspective as they watch the 100th go through the paces.
If you'll give us some names, I'll get one.
You know, I go out there and lift weights and do stuff, but a lot of that stuff doesn't prepare you for the stuff that they put you through. So, I wish I would have definitely trained harder, for sure.
In the midst of their first major challenge, the recruits of the 100th Academy find something unexpected. A sense of unity.
Let's go. Finish strong. Right here. Let's go. You're right here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Brady. Let's go.
It's here, between the sprint finish lines and the labored breaths, that they begin to transform from strangers into a team.
Dress your lines, figure it out. Together the whole time.
That's something that we all take to heart, that if we don't do a really good job and produce very high quality officers, what's going to happen in the field in a couple of years? What's going to happen to the city? What I would really want them to understand, and I tried to explain it to the whole academy, when we're going through this difficult experience together, we're going through this training together, how would you want the police officers that showed up to your house in the middle of the night to save you and to help your family, how would you want them trained?
Next time on the Amarillo 100th Police Academy.
Mission of the Amarillo Police Department is to provide excellent public service and law enforcement